Point session is for us to pass a resolution approving the conduct of the 2025 Commercial Livestock and Poultry Survey by the Philippine Statistics Authority from 15 March 2025 until 30 March 2025 in Barangay Gango, Tabid, Kalangan, Labo, Pantaon, Pulot, ang Sangadyot, Usami City. The written request number 8, resolution approving the conduct of the 2025 March Labor Force Survey with the jobs and skill survey by the Philippine Statistics Authority from 11 March 2025 until 28 March 2025 in Barangay Aguada, Villa Consuelo, Baybay San Roque, Usami City. Written request number 9, I request by the Punong Barangay of Barangay Gango, Honorable Wilmunda SPDO, for the approval of the annual budget 2025 Honorable Chair. Written request number 10 is for us to pass a resolution expressing deepest condolences, sympathy, and respect to the bereaved family of the late Misamis Occidental former Provincial Governor Atty. Lorenzo Labastida Garcia, Washington, to the embrace of God our Father. Written request number 11, Honorable Chair, is a request for us to pass a resolution authorizing to charge the 20 year-end casket salary, pera, magna karta for women, and nasal pay of Ms. Merna W. Nobal, Sanitation Inspector 5 of City Office, in total amount of 59,482 pesos and 72 centavos. Written request number 12, from City Union for us to enact a resolution authorizing the local executive, Honorable Henry Ipo Jr., honest duly authorized representative to sign on behalf of City Government of Usami City the application for exemption from public works ban as required by the Commission regulations. Written request number 13, an ordinance defunding various and 3 positions under the different positions of the City Government of Usami. Number 14, written request is for us to pass a resolution authorizing the local executive to enter into and sign a behalf of the local government of Usami the deed of donation with acceptance of the generator set to Usami City Police Station, confirming and ratifying any and all acts in relation thereto. Written request number 15, a resolution authorizing the local executive to enter into the deed of original donation to the beneficiaries of the Malabang housing project of the local government of Usami, confirming and ratifying any and all acts in relation thereto. Number 16, written request from Sir Pamay table, we are requesting the Rose Valley to decide today the unanswered case number 25-2024 because of the mandate of the local government code that the amendment case should be decided within 120 days from that the respondent received learn about the complaint. And we remember that the complaint was received on November 8, 2024, and the 120 days falls on March 8, which is Saturday. And the law says that if the deadline falls on a Saturday or Sunday or a holiday, the deadline will be the next working day, which is yesterday, March 10. But we can decide this matter without being, without to act collectively, and we don't have session yesterday, so the session is today, so we have to decide now on ourselves. On admin case number 25-2024. may I just reiterate that the decision will be on nominal voting. If it will be yes, meaning the complaint by governance has merit and the respondent is guilty. If you vote no, the respondent is not guilty. And we will have then a consultation if ever the if the respondent is not guilty, then it will be endorsed to the Committee on Laws for drafting decision. But if the respondent is guilty, we'll consult about the our penalty we have to impose, and it will be later on referred to the Committee on Laws for drafting decision. So talking about these are the 16 proposed suggestions to all their business. I move to uphold the agenda for the day, which is the suggestion which I have enumerated, Honorable Chair.
There is a motion from the Honorable Majority Floor Leader for the approval of our agenda for today with 16 inclusions as being presented. Motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Item number 7, approval of the minutes, previous sessions, a valid postponed copies of the minutes of our liberal and special sessions on January 21, 28, 30, and 31, 2025. And I guess everybody was able to peruse and examine the petition, Honorable Chair. Therefore, I move the motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of our previous sessions as mentioned and to approve the same minutes into to Honorable Chair on that motion.
Move with Honorable Majority Floor Leader to dispense the reading of our previous minutes of our session, considering that everybody must have been furnished with a copy and approve of the same. Motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Item number 7, first reading resolution business, Vice President of Literacy. It is a request for first reading. Number 1, Bulikay, Bagay Resolution number 2025, resolution endorsing to the Supplemental Resolution, the Papa Nomenclature of Barangay Streets, Roads of Bulikay, Osama City, and for other legal purposes. Honorable Chair, I move that this be approved on the first reading only and be referred to the Committee on Public Transportation and Traffic Matters, chaired by Honorable Asim Romero. Honorable Chair.
On the first request, there's a motion from the Honorable Majority Floor Leader to approve this on the first reading. This Mulikay Barangay Resolution number 10-2025, that is a resolution endorsing to the Sangguniang Panglungsod the proposed nomenclature of Barangay Streets Road of Barangay Mulikay, Misamis City, Misamis Occidental, and for other legal purpose. Approve on the first reading and be referred to the appropriate committee, the Committee on Public Utility, chaired by Honorable Romero. Motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Number 2 and number 3 are 2025 annual budgets for Barangay Baybay Tempo and Barangay Tinago. Honorable Chair, I yield to the Chairman of the Committee on Barangay Affairs, Honorable John Carlos, to introduce a recommendation on these 2 barangay budgets, Honorable Chair, 2 and 3.
The Honorable Barangay is now recognized by the Chair for the appropriate questions on items number 2 and 3.
Thank you, Majority Floor. Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to pass 2025 annual budget of Barangay Baybay Triunfo in the amount of 6,106,307 and 2025 annual budget of Barangay Tinago in the amount of 40,068,492. Passing for first reading with reservation, Madam Chair.
Pass for first reading with reservations. This 2025 annual budget of Barangay Baybay Triunfo in the amount of 6,106,307 And for the 2025 annual budget of Barangay Tinago, in the amount of 14,068,492. Move for first reading and be referred to the appropriate committee. Motion approved.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Considering the necessity and urgency of the said supplemental budget of Barangay Baybay Triunfo and Barangay Tinago, passing for second and final reading, waiving the rules.
Due to the urgency of this request, the Honorable Moralion is passing this on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none. Motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Items 4, 5, and 6 are applications for renewal of special use permits. Number 4 is filed by the Seeing Star Management Incorporated or Capital Project to operate at Camellia Subdivision, Pontis in Barangay. Number 5 is an application of Corban Real Estate Leasing at Barangay San Antonio. And number 6 is an application of Soundbar for renewal of the permit by Aguada Robosel. I move for approval to the proceeding and this be referred jointly to the Committee on City Planning and Installment of Church by Honorable Decision, Committee on by affairs by Honorable John Calamalion, Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industry by Honorable Catherine Lim, and Committee on Laws and Style chaired by this reputation, and we have to conduct public hearing on this, adjourn public hearing on the motion, but we will as of yet determine the date because we informed the mayor that this week will be fully booked on different activities by the NGO, so we have to consult mayor's office on the schedule so that we could have a public hearing on this perhaps next week. If not, it's coming Friday on Rosen, to afford more time to invite the applicants, other concerned stakeholders like the department heads who may have concerns about these applications by businessmen for the SUP or special use permit. So I recommend that all this will be upon the proceeding, subject to the public hearing to be scheduled later upon consideration of all committee members and chairman or motion.
Thank you, Honorable Major. The floor leader for items number 4, 5, and 6 manifested by the Honorable Majority Floor Leader that for the item number 4, this be referred to Honorable Suiso, and for item number 5 and number 6 be referred to
Joint committees, Honorable Chair.
5 and 6.
For 5 and 6 joint committees. Honorable Chair, so Honorable Catherine Lim,
Be
Honorable
referred to Honorable Moralion
Moralion, and Honorable Takayan.
for the 5 and 6. For items 5 and 6 be referred to Honorable Moralion. 4, 5, and 6, I think the 4 is for, okay. 4, 5, and 6 be referred to Honorable Moralion for proper disposal. This is approved on the first reading. Motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We proceed to item number 8. Committee report submitted. Joint report dated February 24, 2025, Committee on Intelligence People, Committee on Laws, Committee on Rules and Means, Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industry, Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, Committee on By Affairs, regarding the normal agreement between the Somalian tribe, Sami City, the Pescina Restaurant, and State Buses Project, and National Commission on Intelligence People. Honorable Sir, this is a report on the committee hearing being held last February 2025. Actually, this public hearing is again deferred to another date due to the differences being observed by the members of the joint committees. But in the meantime, I move to concur and adopt this joint committee report for approval of the proceeding with revisions and revisions.
On the committee report which was submitted to us, this is a joint report dated February 24, 2025 of the Committee on Indigenous People, Committee on Laws, Committee on Ways and Means, Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industry, Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, and the Committee on Barangay Affairs regarding the Memorandum of Agreement or the MOA between the Sabanan Tribe of Osami City, the Pre-Cucina Restaurant and Reserva Suites Project, and the National Commission on Indigenous People. Manifested by the Honorable Majority Floor Leader that this committee report be concurred. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none, motion approved.
Honorable Chair, in the essential of the public service, I move the motion to adopt and concur with this committee report, joint committee report dated February 2025 for approval on second and final reading within the rules of the Chair.
Upon the concurrence of this committee report by the Honorable Majority Floor Leader, that this, move by the Honorable Majority Floor Leader, that this be passed on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Further comment? Hearing none, motion approved. Final.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Item number 9, current order of business. Please proceed to letter C. Ang assigned business whereby we have 16 appointment sessions, Honorable Chair. First appointment session, resolution approving the conduct of PRR activities in furtherance of Upland Ligtas na pamayanan by the Bureau of Fire Protection in Mayagano and Barangay 58 District, San City. Among the motion to approve this resolution to conduct field activities by the fire protection in Mayagano and Barangay 58 District for approval ng first reading with distributions and officer.
There is a motion to approve this resolution, approving the conduct of the year-round activities and furtherance of Upland Ligtas na pamayanan by the Bureau of Fire Protection in Barangay Gano and Barangay 50th District, Osami City. Move for its approval on the first reading with reservations. Motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, due to the urgent demand of public interest to support these programs of the Bureau of Fire Protection, the Handang Pawinan Program for the first quarter of 2025, the Linga Program, second quarter of 2025, and the Linga Program for Drugs and Simulations, third quarter of 2025. I move for approval, second and final reading, waiving the data rules of the Chair.
Due to the urgency of this request resolution, the Honorable Majority Floor Leader is passing this on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none, motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Second, approve a resolution approving the conduct of year-round training programs to capacitate agrarian reform beneficiaries by the Department of Agrarian Reform in several barangays in Osami City. I am here to the Chairman of the Committee on Agrarian Reform, Honorable Sandy Mamina Jr. to introduce and recommend action on this item, Honorable Chair.
The Honorable Waminal is now recognized by the Chair for the appropriate motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Majority Floor Leader. Good afternoon, everyone. This sample representation would like to move a resolution approving the conduct of year-round training programs to capacitate agrarian reform beneficiaries by the Department of Agrarian Reform in several barangays in Osamin City be approved on first reading with reservation, Madam Chair. From Joint Motion.
Approved on the first reading with reservations. Motion approved.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Considering the urgency and in the spirit of public service, may I therefore move that the same be approved on second and final reading, waiving the internal rules of this Sanggunian. Thank you.
Due to the urgency of this request resolution, the Honorable Waminal is passing this on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment, remarks? Hearing and motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The third appropriation, a resolution approving the series of activities by the Department of Education Schools Division of Osamin City. I now yield to the Chairman of the Committee on Education, Honorable Cecil Yoko, to introduce and recommend action on this item, Honorable Chair.
The Honorable Cecil Ko is now recognized by the Chair for the appropriate motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Majority Floor Leader. So I move to pass a resolution to approve a series of activities by the Department of Education Schools Division of Osamin City on first reading with reservations.
Move for first reading with reservations. Motion approved.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. The various activities are workshop on the review and enhancement of IPED or IP education framework and cultural standards, and consultative conference with IP leaders on the second decade of IPED program implementation, ALS advocacy and social mobilization, and the last activity is ALS completion and graduation. All these activities will be taken or will be held on March 11 up to April 15, 2025. And due to the importance of these activities in the DepEd, and these activities are also attended by different stakeholders from various sectors, and I move to pass this resolution approving this series of activities by the DepEd of Osamin City on second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Justified by the Honorable Cecil Ko, the Committee Chair on Education, that this series of activities be approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment, remarks? Hearing and motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Appropriation number 4, an ordinance authorizing the temporary road closure of various roads within the territorial jurisdiction of Osamin City for the Bureau of Competition 2025 Alab Fund Run on 23 March 2025. And I yield to the Chairman of the Committee on Public Transportation and Traffic Management, Honorable Archie Romero, to introduce and recommend action on this item, Honorable Chair.
The Honorable Mayor is now recognized by the Chair for the appropriate motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. Madam Chair, I move to pass this little request, an ordinance authorizing temporary road closure of various roads, City Hall Drive along Pwesto Coffee Shop, fronting the City Hall, and part of Don Asenmo Bernard Avenue, going to Asinso Osamis Wellness Park, and part of Osamis Seaside Road, within the territorial jurisdiction of Osamis City, for the BFP 2025 Alab Fund Run on 23 March 2025. Passing this for first reading, Madam Chair, with reservation.
Also, the first reading, reservations, motion approved.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the interest of public service, Madam Chair, and to ensure the safety and security of the runners for the BFP Alab Fund Run, I move to pass this for second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Due to the urgency of this request, ordinance authorizing the temporary road closure of various roads within the territorial jurisdiction of Osamin City for the BFP 2025 Alab Fund Run on March 23, 2025. Move with the Honorable Honorable Romero to pass this on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none, motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Approving decision number 5, a resolution approving the 30th anniversary celebration press conference by Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, held on 17 March 2025 at Botanic Gardens, Barangay Bacolod, San City. And may I be allowed to read the approving decision number 6, which is also a health activity. A resolution approving the conduct of the present Employee Enlistment Representatives Forum and Consulta Caravan by the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation on 7 March 2025 in San City. Honorable Chair, I recommend to refer this to the Committee on Public and Sanitation, Honorable Catherine to introduce and recommend action on these two items, approving decisions number 5 and number 6, Honorable Chair.
For items number 5 and 6, the Honorable Catherine Lim is now recognized for the appropriate motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to pass two items. First, a resolution approving the 30th anniversary celebration press conference by the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, PhilHealth, on 17th March 2025 at Bethany Gardens, Barangay Bacolod, Ozamis City. And lastly, a resolution approving the conduct of the PhilHealth Employer Engagement Representatives Forum and Consulta Caravan by the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, PhilHealth, on 27th March 2025 in Ozamis City for first reading with reservation.
For first reading with reservations, motion approved.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Due to its public interest, I would like to pass this on second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Due to the urgency of this request resolution, the Honorable Catherine Lim is passing this resolution on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none, motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Approving decision number 7, resolution approving the conduct of 2025 commercial livestock and poultry survey by the Philippine Statistics Authority on 15 March 2025 until 30 March 2025 in Barangay Gango, Tabig, Kalangan, Labo, Pataon, Pulot, and Changayot, San City. Ano ito, Chairman of the Committee on Agriculture, Honorable Sunny Mamna Jr. to introduce and recommend action on this item, Honorable Chair.
The Honorable Sancho Waminal is now recognized by the Chair for the appropriate motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Majority Leader. I move to pass a resolution approving the conduct of the 2025 commercial livestock in poultry survey by the Philippine Statistics Authority from 15 March 2025 until 30 March 2025 in Barangay Gano, Tabig, Karangan, Labo, Pantaon, Pulot, in San Edyo, San City. For first reading, Madam Chair, with reservation.
Move for first reading with reservations, motion approved.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Due to its necessity, I so move for the approval of the same on second and final reading, waiving the internal rules of this body.
Due to the urgency of this request resolution, the Honorable Waminal is passing this on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none. Motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Approving decision number 8, a resolution approving the conduct of the 2025 March Labor Force Survey with the Jobs and Skills Survey by the Philippine Statistics Authority from 11 March 2025 until 28 March 2025 in Barangay Aguada, Barangay Dunya Consuelo, and Barangay Baybay San Roque, Ozamis City. Ano ito, Chairman of the Committee on Labor, Honorable Salo Salvador, to introduce and recommend action on this item, Honorable Chair.
The Honorable Saulo Salvador is now recognized by the Chair for the appropriate motion.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader. Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to pass a resolution approving the conduct of the 2025 March Labor Force Survey with the Jobs and Skills Survey by the Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA, from March 11, 2025 until March 28, 2025 in Barangay Aguada, Barangay Doña Consuelo, and Barangay Baybay San Roque, Osami City. On first reading, Madam Chair, with reservation.
Move for first reading with reservations. Motion approved.
For its urgency for the implementation of this activity, Madam Chair, and for the interest of the public, I move to pass this resolution on second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Thank
Due
you,
to the
Madam Chair.
urgency of this request resolution, a resolution approving the conduct of the 2025 March Labor Force Survey with the Jobs and Skills Survey, the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA from March 11, 2025 until March 28, 2025 in Barangay Aguada, Barangay Doña Consuelo, and Barangay San Roque in Osami City. Move for its approval on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none. Motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Appropriation number 9, resolution approving the annual budget of Barangango, Osami City in the amount of 10,820,520 pesos. And now yield to Chairman Committee by Affairs, Honorable John Carlo Marlion, to endorse and recommend action on this item, Honorable Chair.
The Honorable John Carlo Moralion is now recognized by the Chair for the appropriate motion.
Thank you, Majority Floor. Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to pass the 2025 annual budget of Barangay Gango, the amount of 10,828,528 pesos. For first reading with reservation, Madam Chair.
Move for first reading with reservations. Motion approved.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Considering the urgency and necessity of the 2025 annual budget of Barangay Gango, passing for second and final reading, waiving the internal.
Due to the urgency of this request resolution of Barangay Gango for the approval and consideration of the 2025 annual budget, enacting various expenditure covering the period January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2025 in the total amount of 10,828,528 pesos. Move with the Honorable Moralion to pass this on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none, motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Appropriation number 10, a resolution expressing deep condolences, sympathy, and respect to the bereaved family of the late Misamis Occidental former Provincial Governor Atty. Florencio Labastida Garcia, who was returned to the embrace of God, the Father. Honorable Chair, I move for approval of the first reading with reservations.
Move for its approval on the first reading with reservation. Motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, due to the demand of public interest, because the late Atty. Florencio Garcia was formerly our city councilor and our city vice mayor, and he was also a former provincial governor of the province of Misamis Occidental. I move this motion to approve this resolution for a second and final reading, waiving the internal rules of the
Due to the urgency of this request resolution, a resolution expressing deepest condolences, sympathy, and respect to the bereaved family of the late Misamis Occidental former provincial governor Atty. Florencio Labastida Garcia, who has returned to the embrace of God, the Father. Move for its approval on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none, motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The upon resolution number 11 for upon the request for us to pass a resolution authorizing the charge to the 2023 year-end cash gift, last salary, pera, Magna for women, and hazard pay of Mrs. Mirna W. Nabal as Sanitation Inspector, 5 City Office, total amount of 9,180 pesos and 70 centavos, and move the motion to approve this resolution on the first reading with distributions of the
Move for first reading with reservations. Motion approved.
due to the demand of public interest and response and fiscal management. I move the motion to approve this resolution charging the various hours, cash hours to
Due to the urgency of this
W. Nabal for approval of the second and final reading within the internal rules of the
Due to the urgency of this request resolution, authorizing to charge the 2023 year-end cash gift, last salary, pera, Magna Carta for women and hazard pay of Ms. Mirna Noval as Sanitation Inspector 5 of the City Health Office, moved by the Honorable Majority Floor Leader to pass this on the second and final reading, waiving the approval, waiving the internal rules and the approval of the amount of 59,482,072 centavos. Motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Approval resolution number 12, a resolution authorizing the local chief executive, Honorable Henry Equino Jr., or his duly authorized representative to sign on behalf of City Government of San City the application for exemption from public works ban as required by the Commission on Elections, and to the Chairman of the Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure, Honorable Saulo Salvador, to introduce the recommendation of this item on the
The Honorable Saulo Salvador is now recognized by the Chair for the appropriate motion.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader. Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to pass a resolution authorizing the local chief executive, Honorable Henry F. Waminal Jr., or his duly authorized representative to sign on behalf of the city government of Osami City the application for the exemption from public works ban as required by the Commission on Elections on first reading with reservation, Madam Chair.
Pass on the first reading with reservations. Motion approved.
For its interest of the public and for the implementation of this resolution, move to pass this on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Due to the urgency of this request resolution and for public interest manifested by the Honorable Saulo Salvador, to pass this on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none, motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Approval resolution number 13, an ordinance defunding various unpaid positions under different offices of City Government of Samis. I now yield to Chairman of the Committee on Civil Service, Honorable Lord Deputy Chief Priest, to introduce the recommendation on this item, Honorable Chair.
The Honorable Lord Cipuis is now recognized by the Chair for the appropriate motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to our Majority Floor Leader. I move to pass an ordinance defunding various unfilled positions under different offices of the City Government of Osamis for first reading with reservation, Madam
Pass
Chair.
on the first reading with reservations. Motion approved.
Due to the need of this ordinance, I so move this for second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Due to the urgency of this request, ordinance, the Honorable Lord Witness Cyprus is passing this on the second and final reading within the internal rules, an ordinance defunding various unfilled positions under the referred offices of the City Government of Osamis City. Motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Upon decision number 14, our resolution authorizing the local executive to enter into and sign in behalf of the local government unit of Samis, the deed of donation with acceptance of the generator seat to the Samis City Police Station, confirming and rectifying any acts in relation thereto. I move the motion to approve this resolution, Honorable Chair, on the first reading with revisions.
Approved on the first reading with reservations. Motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, due to the urgent demand of public interest to afford our police station and reasonable equipment for the rendition of the services for the mission of the condition of Sun City. I move the motion to approve this resolution donating a general seat to the Sun City Police Station for approval in the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules, Honorable Chair.
Due to the urgency of this request resolution, the Honorable Majority Floor Leader is passing this resolution on the second and final reading within the internal rules, authorizing a local chief executive to enter into and sign in behalf of the local government unit of Osamis the deed of donation with acceptance of the generator set to the Osamis City Police Station, confirming and ratifying any and all acts in relation thereto. Move for its approval on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment, remarks? Hearing none, we should approve of the second and final reading.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Approve decision number 15, resolution authorizing the local executive to enter into deed of conditional donation to the beneficiaries of the Malabang housing project of the local government unit of Samis, confirming and notifying any and all acts in relation thereto, and held to Chairman Committee on Housing and Settlement, Honorable Ding Ziso, to endorse and recognize this item, Honorable Chair.
The Honorable Suiso is now recognized by the Chair for the appropriate motion.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and Majority Floor Leader. This representation would like to pass a resolution authorizing the local chief executive to enter into deed of conditional donation to the beneficiaries of the Malaobang Housing Project of the local government unit of Osamis City, confirming and ratifying any and all acts in relation thereto on first reading, Madam Chair, with reservation.
Move on the first reading with reservations. Motion approved.
Due to the need of our grantees and our beneficiaries of the Malaobang Housing Project to give them a legit certification or documents that they are entitled to their housing unit, I would like to pass this resolution on third and final reading, waiving the internal rules on joint motion.
Due to the urgency of this request resolution, the Honorable Suiso is passing this on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Any comment? Remarks? Hearing none. Motion approved on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The last but not the least, our decision number 16 is for this August body as a Quasi Judicial Court to decide on administrative case number 25-2024 filed by the President of the Barangay Senior Citizens Association of Boyetapan, Iniria Tasumban, et al. Versus Niba Bilgara, the Bali Captain of Boyetapan, Osamis City, Honorable Chair. If we remember, we had a hearing on this last January 10, 2025. And in the hearing, since both parties did not submit their examination questions as required by our internal rules, the members of the Osmadi as judges, the Constitutional Court took turns in asking the parties questions to verify the actual facts and what really happened on that on the days being charged in the government September 6 and October 21, where the governors are scheduled to hold the elections of their association. And the charge include also the non-release of the budget allocations of the senior citizens of Tapan for the year 23 and 24, and also the provision by the barangay to their responded the usual enjoyment of the office of the senior citizens on officer. I guess from January 10 to today, my colleagues have already installed determination about the merits of the complaint, which I repeat, for abuse of authority, for preventing the conduct of elections on September 6 and October 21, and charging the violation of Article 131 of the Revised Penal Code, which refers to the stopping of the elections, as well as the charge of violation of section 3A of the Public Act 6713, or the ethical standards and practices of government officials and employees, as well as the violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. So with that, I hope my colleagues will now decide this case, because we are required by law, local government code, to decide now. If I may reiterate, Section 63C, local government code, substantially says that upon expiration of the 60-day suspension of the respondent, which we have done, the respondent is restated to his office as barangay chairman, and it already happened. She was restated on officer because of such expiration, but the law says we are prejudiced to the continuing investigation being done by this body, which is not to be more than 120 days from the date the respondent was informed of the charge against her. And he was informed on last November 8, 2024, and the 120 days was on March 8, which is Saturday. And the law says if the deadline falls on Saturday or Sunday, the deadline will be the next working day, which is yesterday, March 10. But we don't have any decision yesterday, so unfortunately, we have to decide now, being now collective body, decision officer, we have to decide on this admin case of against Honorable Niba Vergara of Bayan Tapan officer. So, unless my colleagues has any questions, I will request our secretary to conduct the voting. When you say yes, meaning you approve the complaint, and the respondent is guilty. When you no, meaning the respondent is not guilty. So, if there are no questions on the I now yield to the secretary to conduct a nominal voting of the members of Usmani officer.
Yes, before we will be conducting the nominal voting, the Honorable Swiss would like to say something.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. This is just a clarification, Madam Chair, to our Majority Floor Leader regarding the prohibition of any suspension in relation to the upcoming May 12, 2025 election. I understand that these are prohibited, but as long as there are any charges of Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, this is a, what do you call this, a non-inclusion of the said prohibition. Am I right, Sir Majority Floor Leader?
Yes, you are right, Honorable Seso. If the implementation of the example, if the court finds the exponent guilty, so you have to impose suspension because there can be no special only suspension. And the communication says that before we implement the decision to suspend, we have to ask for the alternative to committee. Because at this point of time, it is now the election period. So, if ever our decision is guilty and we cancel it, the penalty of suspension, we cannot impose right away the suspension. We cannot implement right away because we need the approval of the Comelec authority to suspend the Purong Barangay of Pitapan. But there's an exemption that we need that ask the Comelec for authority if and when the charge involves violation of the Anti-Graft Practices Law, Section 3 of, the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Law, and it is true that in the complaint there is a charge for violation of the Anti-Graft Law, Section 3A, being amended by the complainant. But in my own personal opinion, myself, is fact that we have to really ask for the authority from the Comelec to be safe. We have to read the complaint as well as the decision. If they might find that the respondent is not guilty of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, then there might be some sanctions that we might be given. So, to be sure, you have to ask first the Comelec for authority. If ever the decision is guilty, if not, no more, it's no longer necessary. But we have to refer it to the Committee on Laws for the adopting of decision, judging judgment not guilty of the complaints charged by the complainants. I hope that suffice. If it suffice, so.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Floor Leader. Any other queries or some points of clarification regarding the issue? Any manifestation for some clarification? Honorable Suizo, are you okay? After the answer?
Yes, I thank the Majority Floor Leader, Madam Chair, for the explanation and enlightenment of the said case. And I already, it is already sufficient. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
In behalf of the August Party, would you be able to amplify or the answer or your comments?
It's my honor, Madam Chair. As what our Majority Floor Leader manifested, that should we decide to give the guilty verdict on our respondent, the Barangay Chairman of Litapan, our decision is still subject for an exemption from the Comelec, since we are already on a period wherein we need an exemption coming from the Comelec, because suspensions in this period are not allowed based on the prohibition coming from the Omnibus Election Code. But if the charges against the Barangay Chairman of Litapan includes a violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, that is already an exemption, and we could proceed to the suspension of her guilty verdict that we are going to give now, if there is.
Okay.
So, to clarify things, and to give us also a clear resolution about this dilemma, we need still the manifestation or the clearance coming from the Comelec if said suspension should be implemented or not, to keep us safe of what we are going to declare today, or what verdict are we going to give.
Okay.
Still subject for Comelec
Decision.
clearance before we're going to implement the suspension. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Sui. So any other manifestation for some points of clarification regarding the issue before we go on the voting? Any?
Yes, Honorable Chair,
Yes.
the policy of the Comelec that we should first ask for authority is to preclude the possibility that we are trying to promote ourselves during election, because election is coming and the response might be against us. But actually, if the Comelec knows we have no opponents in election, they can be in charge of partaking. But to be safe, as presented by Honorable Siso, we have to ask the Comelec for authority to implement the, if ever, our decision will be to impose a penalty, Honorable Chair.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Majority Floor Leader. Any other manifestation for some points of clarification from this august body? Having no more manifestation, I think we can go ahead with the nominal voting na.
Yes, Honorable Chair, we will proceed to nominal voting because there's already a determination that everybody was able to
Apprehend.
determine whether the opponent is really answerable to the charges being ventilated by the opponents, Honorable Chair, for abuse of authority and for violation of the ethical standards practices of government of place, as well as the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, Honorable Chair.
Okay, yes. May we give the floor to the secretariat or secretary for the nominal voting, or you want to explain also?
May I proceed with the nominal voting, Madam Chair?
Okay.
Honorable Puente Cypress. Honorable Lin.
Yes.
Yes. Honorable Ko.
Thank you. I vote yes on the basis of the respondents acting beyond her express authorities enumerated in the local government code as expressed a while ago, and in her conduct and becoming of a punong barangay. Thank you.
Honorable Romero de Sican. Honorable Suizo Jr.
I would like to explain my vote, Madam Chair. Upon determining the merits of the case they are presented during the hearings, I found out that the respondents did not even show any behavior that would regard to being an observant of the standard, ethical standard of being public official. The standard of unbecoming a public official has been displayed, and my verdict is guilty or yes.
Okay, thank you.
Honorable Lau, Honorable Sakin Jr., Honorable Tapayan,
Yes, because I found the reasonableness of both the communals and respondent leaning towards the guilt of the respondent because even the video clippings shown to the members of the court would show that there was an abuse of authority being committed by the respondent in denying the senior citizens of organization to conduct the election on September 6, again and on October 21, and also the senior citizens of Bagitapan, which is recognized and acknowledged by the population, was not given the allocated share budgets for 2024 on the reason that there are two organizations in Itapan, but the other one was not recognized. We have discovered that it was organized by the Punong Barangay, who is not supposed to interfere with the affairs of the senior citizens organization, which is an independent public people's organization officer. So, they also deprived of the enjoyment of the office. So, I vote yes, officer.
Honorable Salvador,
Madam Chair, I vote for yes.
Honorable Waminal Jr.,
Okay, because I found it in the so I vote yes.
Honorable Moralion,
So, yes, Madam Chair.
11 voted for yes, Madam Chair. 0 for no.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. So 11 voted for yes.
So, in that case, we'll have a consultation among ourselves later on the appropriate penalties to be imposed on the respondent being adjudged guilty now by Mr. Osbalik. And after the consultation, this will be referred to the committee and laws for the drafting of the decision, officer. Thank you very much. So, officer, may I bring Mr. Osbalik the request of the esteemed, urgent request of esteemed office to include this in our session today, because this activity will be happening on March 15, and our next session will be on March 18. So, there is a need to act on this. Officer, resolution approving the conduct of the installation ceremony and induction to stakeholders by the Department of Health on 15 March 2025 at Mayor General Ramiro Senior Medical Center, San City. I move for approval to include this in our agenda, officer. On the motion.
Motion to approve this resolution as being presented by the Honorable Majority Floor Leader in our agenda for today. Motion approved.
With the kind indulgence of the Chairman of the Committee on Health and Sanitation, Honorable Lim, I move to approve this resolution approving the conduct of the installation ceremony and introduction to the stakeholders by the Department of Health on 15 March 2025 at Mayor General Ramiro Senior Medical Center for approval in the second and final reading, waiving the internal laws on the
There is a motion to approve this on the second and final reading. A resolution approving the conduct of the installation ceremony an introduction to stakeholders for the Department of Health on March 15, 2025 at Mayor Hilarion A. Ramiro Senior Medical Center, Osami City. Move for its approval on the second and final reading, waiving the internal rules. Motion approved.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. There are no matters pending on my table under item number 10, basis for third reading. So, at this juncture, may we have the peace of the wills to learn and proceed matters from Honorable Dennis Cesar, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Cesar, you are now recognized for the chair for some other matters.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. This representation received a communication from the PCL National that we will going to have our 2025 PCL End-Term General Assembly and Capacity Development Program at the Paradise Garden Resort and Convention Center, Boracay Island, Malay, Aklan. This coming June 2 to 4, 2025, Madam Chair, with a registration fee of 21,500 each. There's no twin sharing for this, Madam Chair. And we will also be forwarding the other communications for this upcoming end-term assembly, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
That 21,500 single.
Single, yes, no twin sharing.
Okay. Is there any comment or remarks regarding the manifestation of our PCL President? PCL Chair regarding the General Assembly to be held in Boracay? Okay. That would be on June 2 to 4. Kisa may mga to. Oh. Share ako doon. So everybody is invited at 21,500 for the registration. Plus the transportation expense, how much would that be? Pila magkahapon?
The last time we went there, Madam Chair, we had an transportation travel allowance and transportation expense all around to 32,000 each.
So the transportation.
Oh yeah, but if we're going to have the approval from the mayor as early as now, maybe we could have a discounted flight because it's still early, it's still March.
Okay, you do it.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Okay, so any manifestation from this August body who would like to go to Boracay and go on swimming? So we'll be spending 53,500 each.
Honorable Chair, may I just inform this whole body that we have abnormal budget and traveling expenses. Honorable Chair, but it's up to the members whether to attend this particular activity at Boracay, Honorable Chair.
So any other manifestation? That's a manifestation of our majority floor leader. Any comment or remarks?
I think there's none. So we proceed to item number 12. Honorable John Pellis on official business. Honorable Chair. So we proceed to item number 13. May I have a person please to on MC matters from Honorable John Calamarion. There is none, Honorable Chair, so we now proceed to hearing with privilege and pleasure on matters concerning the indigenous from Honorable Dennis Cesar, Honorable Chair.
For matters concerning the indigenous people, we would like to recognize the Honorable Suizo, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. In matters of the IP matter, Madam Chair, we already had conducted the renegotiated memorandum of agreement with Presco Sina last March 7 at Stimson Abordo Barangay Hall, Madam Chair. And all stakeholders were there, like the City Disaster Coordinating Officer, the City Legal Officer of our LGU. We also have there the IPS of the 5 ancestral barangays, and we had a thorough negotiations, including the section by section, what has been submitted and what has been transpired during the committee hearing in this session hall. We had included that last March 7, and the final draft will be furnished, Madam Chair, as long as the Bisaya interpretation is already done. So we will going to furnish the members of the City Council after the final draft has been already completed. Thank you very much,
We
Madam.
appreciate that.
Thank you very much,
Okay,
Madam.
thank you. Any other manifestation from this group or some other matters?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
We are actually invited, Madam Chair, for tomorrow's necrological service we were given notice to attend for tomorrow's necrological service of former Governor Florencio Garcia at 8 o'clock in the morning. And we also be presenting a City Council resolution for tomorrow's event. We will,
Tomorrow.
yes, Madam Chair, 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I have just received here reminders for micro service for late Lorenzo Garcia. Before we adjourn, I would like to remind everyone that tomorrow, March 12, 2025 at 8:30 a.m., we will be attending the necrological service for the late former Governor Florencio Garcia at the Provincial Cultural Center of Oroquita City, ato dito, 8:30. Ma'am Christy Sapiot from the province of Visayas of Oriental has informed us of this event. And as a city council members, we will also be present. We will be presenting our condolences resolution to the bereaved family during the service. So dito na lang dita, no? Sa Oroquita. Additionally, I request all members to coordinate with my staff regarding the number of staff attending so that the province can make the necessary preparations. Thank you, and let us show our respect and support to the family of former Governor Florencio Garcia. So, ugma ni pohon, March 12, no? March 12. So,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, Madam Chair, the family of the late Governor Garcia is no longer trying to have our work here in the city hall. Kung siya lang sa una si Atty. Paul Garcia, apigil ang time. Kaya ugma sa province, niya pagkaalaw na misa din lumong ngayon. Sa piki, so di na sila mo anin din sa city hall. Di na.
Okay. So, muna dito na lang yun sa province siguro ta. Then after that, maybe we can proceed sa ilahan ng balay siguro. Kay Burag, I heard that there will be... unsa? Dili sa nagmurial. Wala na sa ilang balay. So, dili na ibalik. Oo. From the province, tomorrow, diretso na sa...
Alaw na.
Okay.
Balik, no?
Sige. So, before... Okay. Kita sa kita.
Di na madugay. Itati, isa na ito, itati. Kaya alaw na, nalapo ko din. Sa misa na. Sunday sa mga lang.
Sige.
So, di na madugay sa Capitol. Isa na nila, itati ito. Then,
Diretso na, no?
natin isang program.
Okay. I-prepare na nato, Mr. Secretary, ang ato ang kuan.
Kung dito siya, ano ito mo?
Resolution, Mr. Secretary. Just prepare ato ang resolution.
Kung may mga itong atoriso, apay mahantaran ba? Mo, ipo na. Kaya para kami doon manaw ba?
we approve not to talk about because everybody is present. So that, Romana? Okay, any other query regarding this particular activities sa atong or service to our late Governor Florencio Garcia? Ugma naman dito siya. So from Oroquita, wala dili na mahapit balay diretso na dayon. So, I would like to reiterate in my request for all members to coordinate with Dina Aligrado regarding the number of staff attending so that the province can make the necessary preparations.
Sample pen.
Pwede ba ang tanan? Mato ba? Or not all is going? Okay. Any other matters? Wala na siguro.
There is a notice from English Registrar, but we will not discuss that. Honorable Chair.
Ano sa to?
So I guess there are no more other matters to be taken up. But usually, Chair, I now move to adjourn the session, Chair.
The session is adjourned.